How do you skip an iteration in a JavaScript loop? Imagine you're walking through a line of people, and suddenly you see someone you know. You might decide to skip that person and move on to the next. In JavaScript loops, there's a way to do something similar. If you want to skip a specific part of the loop and jump straight to the next cycle, you use a special command called the continue statement. This is very handy when you want to ignore certain values or conditions during your iteration. In a for loop, which is one of the most common types of loops, you can place the continue statement inside an if statement. For example, if you're counting from 0 to 4 and want to skip the number 2, you write an if statement that checks if the current number is 2. If it is, you tell the loop to continue, which skips the rest of the code inside the loop for that turn and moves to the next number. Here's what that looks like. For let I is equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. If I equals 2, continue, skip the rest when I is 2. Console log I. When you run this, it will print 0, 1, 3, and 4. Notice how it skips to because of the continue command. It's like telling the loop, hey, ignore everything else for this turn and go to the next one. This makes your code cleaner and avoids unnecessary processing. The continue statement also works in while and do while loops. In these, it behaves the same way. It skips the remaining code in the current iteration and jumps to the condition check for the next cycle. If your loop has multiple nested loops, you can use labeled continue statements to skip not just the current loop but an outer loop as well. You do this by giving the outer loop a label, then using continue with that label inside the inner loop. For example, you might have a label called outer loop, and when a certain condition is met inside the inner loop, you tell the program to continue the outer loop instead. It's important to note that the continue statement cannot be used inside the for-each method of an array. Since for-each is a function, not a loop, using continue inside it will cause errors. Instead, if you want to skip items in an array, you should use a traditional for loop or return early from the callback function. Using continue is great for filtering out unwanted data during iteration, saving processing time, and controlling flow, especially in nested loops. It helps keep your code simple and efficient by avoiding unnecessary steps. So, whenever you need to skip certain parts of a loop based on a condition, remember that continue is your go-to command. It's a straightforward way to make your loops smarter and your code easier to read.